gonna make some cinnamon rolls now. Welcome to the other side of the homestead. We're in the kitchen now. This is a recipe that I found. I just tweaked it a little bit just to kind of see what I could do with it, because I was having a few problems when I first tried it, but figured that out. Figured out another way that made it absolutely even more delicious. And it started as a Cinnabon copycat recipe. So not their recipe, but similar to it. This one is not their recipe, Lily's recipe, but similar to it. So I just found that online, thought I'd share it with you. So I got a strange request from my son for this weekend's dinner. So I've got to start with the cinnamon rolls, so I'm not working on that all day while I'm trying to work on chili for 2 days. So, all right, let's get started. First thing we're gonna start with is 1 cup of warm milk. And you want this to be about, I'm finding between 115 and no higher than 130 degrees. This one is at 125 when I started and measured it. Then you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna add in fast rising yeast. I'm just gonna go ahead and use the packet. You would want 2.5 teaspoons of yeast if you were gonna use something else. All right, so we're just gonna let this sit and then we'll come right back and I'll walk you through the rest. Okay, so now we have all of our yeast ready to go inside of our warm milk. So in order, this is how you wanna do it, in order. That's what I found works best, so just stick with it and trust me. So next you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna add 2 eggs. 2 large eggs is what you want. Okay, got that one going. Then you're gonna add a 1/3 cup of the salted butter melted. I gotta melt that, hang on. Now it's really important because of the yeast that we're using. We wanna make sure that the liquids that we're putting in are warm with this particular yeast. So our butter, we want that between 110 to 115 degrees, where, like I said, we did between 115 to 130 to actually get the yeast activated. So that's how we're gonna do it. So get this melted and then get that back in there. So as long as you remember that one good tip, it won't fail. Okay, so now we have our butter melted and we're just gonna add that on in the bowl. Just like that. Okay, then we're gonna do 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. 1 teaspoon of salt. I use the Redmond salt. Okay, and now you're gonna go ahead and pull 4.5 cups, but separate the 4 cups. You wanna start with 4, don't start with 4.5. This dough is supposed to be tacky. There's 4 right there. And then we're gonna knead it for 5 to 7 minutes. I'm gonna just go ahead and use the mixer. If you wanna use your hands, use your hands. Just remember it's a tacky dough, so don't be adding excessive flour to it. It'll go flat on you. And then you'll do this at a medium setting, and then you wanna make sure that it pulls away from the side. It's tacky, so you're gonna have a little bit on the bottom, but we'll solve that with the spatula as soon as we're done. So after this is mixed, I'll be right back. So we're finished, got that all done. As you can see, it's kind of coming down this way it should be. It should be elastic. Like I said, it's gonna be tacky. That's the way it should look. Like I said, if you need to add the other 1/2 cup of flour, don't add the whole thing at the same time. Just a little bit at a time until you get it to the right consistency. So then what we're going to do, I think I'll just take this out. Get that little sucker loose. Move this out of the way. Okay. And then we have a greased bowl. So we're gonna take our greased bowl. We're gonna put our dough in there. Use a spatula to get it out because, like I said, it's tacky, so it's going to stick to that bowl. May have to fight it a little bit. There we go. All right. So we've got that. Then we're just going to cover it up with plastic. And we're going to set it in the oven on proof. And if you don't have a proof setting, don't sweat it. Just turn your oven up to the lowest setting. Let it sit for 2 minutes. Then turn it off. And then that's your proof setting. So you just go ahead and hold it in there. Loosely put that on. And this is going to go in for 30 to 45 minutes. Do not let it go over 45 minutes, because if it rises too much, then you're going to have airy excuse me, then you're going to have airy dough, and you don't want the airy dough because we have a secret ingredient that we're going to be using in here. So you want it to just make sure it's just almost double in size. Doesn't have to actually be double, doesn't have to be overflowing. So really watch your time on this one, guys. 30 minutes to 45 minutes. Okay, so while that finished proofing, what we're going to do is we're going to make our filling. So I've already pre-made my filling, just because I've been doing this for a few days. So mine's already done. So I'm just going to walk you through it. That's what it's going to look like. That's the consistency that you want. And this is where I kind of switch things up, and I like the way it turned out. G came back with the ones I made yesterday. He took them to work and sold them. Everybody said these are the best cinnamon rolls that they've had in a long time. So super excited about that. And so what you're going to do is you're going to add 2 tablespoons of cinnamon, and then you're going to add half a cup of butter. You want this again at room temperature, so go ahead and melt it. You soften if you want to soften it, that's fine. So get that, and then 1 cup of packed brown sugar, and then this is the weird part, half a cup of heavy whipping cream. Put it in the filling. We're going to do something else with more whipping cream towards the end, but I want you guys to try this. Then mix it together, it becomes that thick, and that's our filling. So what we're going to do, because now I'm kind of on a time crunch, because there's an exciting live coming. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and make our frosting. I'm going to get everything together for that, and then we'll show you how to get that done. Okay, so here's what we're going to start with. In a mixing bowl, and then just use a manual blender is fine, and then our mixer. And then so what we're going to do is we're going to add a 1/3 cup of room temperature softened butter, salted butter, and then we're going to add 6 ounces of cream cheese at room temperature. This is easy, a pretty common recipe. And then throw that on in there. Get all that creamy cheese goodness in you. All right. Then we're gonna go with 2 cups of powdered sugar. Okay, put that over there. And then here, I'm going to use vanilla extract. You want half a tablespoon. The original recipe calls for maple extract, there we go. And I couldn't find any, so I'm not sure that I've ever seen it either. There's maybe something out on the East Coast. All right, and then we're just gonna blend it together. And voila, maybe you can see it. I don't know. I'll take a picture of it and she can throw it in there. Okay, so there's our cream cheese icing. Just follow the instructions and you'll be able to create that. This is the That's the consistency. So now our frosting is done. So we just set that to the side because everything has to bake, and then we'll put the frosting on so that it gets nice and gooey and melty in there. The proof is almost done, so let's get ready to roll and add our filling. Right, I'll be right back. All right, so now our dough has risen, and so we are ready to roll. So I've taken a pastry mat and lightly floured it. And then we're gonna throw our dough on there. Hopefully not on the floor. And with the rolling pin, then we're gonna roll it out. So I think I'm gonna start this way. This way. Now at this point, if you need flour and you need to add it, it's not a big deal. Now you can go ahead and add more flour. So just whatever you need. You're just trying to get it into a rectangle. Best you can. All right. So we got that done. So now we've got our filling, remember, that we made. So we're going to take our filling, and then we're going to just lather it in there. Just like that. Okay, set that to the side. Now we're gonna get wonky with it. So now we're gonna roll it. Look at that. Let's see if I can get it back over here. Look at that. Okay, there's our roll. So now we're gonna cut and put it on a plate. Should say too while we're doing this. When I took it from proofing, I should have, excuse me, when I took it from proofing, I should have set it at 375 degrees. So lightly greased. And then we're gonna come in, oh no, you can't see that, can you? Let's see, this way. Now we're gonna come in probably about 2 inches, just gonna level her at. So at 2 inches, If you come in, gonna go about that big. Now, some people say discard the tip. I don't. I don't think there's any need for it. And then you just set them in your pan. So again, about 2 inches. All right, that's what we got. You get about 12 rolls out of that. Now, I don't let any of the filling go to waste. It'll just sit and melt. So I just throw them right on top of the cinnamon rolls. Get them on in there. Okay, now at this point, what we want to do, we're going to cover it up and go ahead and let it sit while the oven is warming up and let that lift. And then we got one more step before we throw it in the oven. So now the oven's heated. We've got these taken care of. So now we're going to take them out. And now we're going to add, just like I'm saying it, we're going to add half a cup of heavy whipping cream. You want this at room temperature. So take it out of the refrigerator and then get it done. And here's what we're going to do. You're going to pour it over you guys. I'm telling you, these are going to be the best. Ooh, look at all that cream. Ooh, I should have got, did I get it? Huh. All right. Show the little baby. Okay. So there you have that. All right, we're going to pop it in the oven. Here's what we're going to do when we put it in the oven. At 20 minutes, you're going to check it because it takes 20 to 30 minutes to bake these. So depending on how thick you cut them is depending on how long it's going to take. So I'll check at 20 minutes, see where we're at. If they're looking dark, I'll cover them with foil and then let them finish cooking the rest of the way. And then we'll show you what it looks like when they come out. All right. Okay, so now we just pulled these out of the oven and this is what I ended up with. And they spread out. One of the reasons why I wanted them spread out is because, so gross, my son is coming this weekend and he wants cinnamon rolls and then put chili on top of it, eat it. So obviously that wasn't gonna work with one that puffs up higher. I needed it spread out. So I've made these so that they go bowl size. If you use a 9x13 pan, you're going to get a fluffier but skinnier cinnamon roll. So just decide how you want to do it and go with that. So at this point, just taking them out of the oven, I'm going to go ahead and start icing them just so that the icing will melt a little over it. You just see how thick it gets. Actually, what I might do, I might just warm this up a little bit. There we go. That's going to be much easier to work with. I didn't melt it down all the way, but you can see the difference here. So you just kind of get them all in there. These are like so ooey gooey yummy. It's not even funny. So just to let you know and update you. So when I did a 9x13 pan and the way that I cut them, I did end up cooking and getting them finished for, it was probably about 28 minutes. And this time definitely was only 20 minutes. So again, how you cut them, how much you space them out, that sort of thing. Just take that into account as you're doing it. So as these cool down, the frosting will go ahead and start melting. As you can see, it already is. And they'll look nice and pretty and swirly. That's it. That's how you have it. All All right, super easy, I'm telling you. Okay, well, you guys, this is it. This is cinnamon rolls in a heartbeat. Well, not a heartbeat. It is work, and you're gonna love the taste. I'm telling you, it's so moist and chewy and flaky and all of that. We can even take the small one out, I guess, and then look at that. Let's do that real quick. We got time. All right, we'll come after this little guy here. Because I guarantee you I will not be putting chili on my cinnamon roll. So yeah, it just kind of comes apart. Just flaky. Look at the inside there. It's gonna be hot. These are probably the best cinnamon rolls I've ever had in my life. These are really delicious. Guys, I hope truly that you enjoy this recipe. Have fun with it. Take away the cream if you don't want the cream. I'm telling you, the cream makes a huge difference. You're gonna absolutely love it. And okay, until next time, guys, go out, be at least 1% better tomorrow than you were today. And until next time, go live a life done free.
Thanks, Milo.